We'll be analyzing Tate Taylor's film The Help, first through a feminist lens and then followed a Marxist lens. Summary: The Help is a period drama film released in 2011, directed by Tate Taylor and adapted from Catherine Scotty's historical fiction The Help. The story is set in 1960s and follows the perspective of black maid Abe Leen, who tells the story of working for a privileged white woman. A definition of feminist lens is over here, and I'll be using the feminist lens to examine how the characters were limited and constrained by gender stereotype, both personally and professionally. First, I will do a character comparison. Haley versus Skeeter. Haley is a representation of a woman who conform the traditional gender stereotype, even though there are not many male characters present in the film, but the pressure to conform patriarchal standard is constantly put on female characters in The Help. This is because women like Haley has accepted this norm and continue to perpetuate patriarchal values. Haley always dressed attractively from a male perspective. She drops out of school to get married and have children at a very young age, because she values marriage above all else. From this quote, because once Miss Haley had a baby, every girl at the bridge table had to have one too. This shows Haley has really taken and internalized the patriarchal expectation of women and applied them to herself and her friend. She believes the only way for them to achieve anything is to get married and be a wife and a mother. Skeeter, on the other hand, recently graduated from university, and when she returns home, she didn't rush to get married, as everyone else would expect it for her to do. Instead, she found a job as a writer in Jackson Journal. Her decision not to follow the traditional path caused her endure many questions and pressure from others, but she's committed to pursuing writing as her career. And eventually, she published a book on helping other marginalized black women to fight for equal rights. In the shot, Haley and Skeeter are standing opposite one another, representing people who have chosen different paths since their value and what they believe in are totally different. Although the camera shot is at a natural angle where two characters are eye to eye at the equal level. However, Haley takes up more space and she's holding Skeeter and telling her she had set up a plan for her to go on a date. This shows the representation of traditional value is still in a dominant position. The same idea is also presented in the next shot, in which Skeeter is isolated and surrounded by pressure of gender expectation. In summary, The Help reviews how the intense pressure of conforming to gender norm affects and limited women to drop out of school and become a full-time wife. But on the other hand, it also shows women it's possible to break free from the constraint and gender stereotype by pursuing education and a career. Moving on to the Marxist lens. By using Marxist lens to analyze the film, it reveals the social class system which is built upon the imbalance in wealth and heritage, making people born into lower class experience a significant disadvantage in maintaining a decent life, pursuing education, and seeking job opportunities. The privileged class using their resources to maintain and consolidate their status. At the same time, they keep exploiting people from lower class and eliminating their opportunities to make their journey of revolution extremely difficult. In the film, the color and style of one's costume is a metaphor of the asset and resource one possesses. Haley has the highest status among her friends, so she usually is in the center of the camera shot and wearing the brightest color clothes. Skeeter wearing a different style of clothes means she has the option and opportunities to be different. But the maids don't have options of what they can wear. They are always required to wear the uniform. The Help is set in 1960s in Southern U.S. in the Jim Crow era, where the Help is set in 1960s Southern U.S. in Jim Crow era. The dominant ideology of privileged class is that the white people and black people are separate but equal. They refuse to admit that there are a problem in the system. They are exploiting black mates and treated as a second-class citizens. An example of the idea of separate but equal is Haley forcing the color Help to use a separate bathroom outside. She utilized her higher class status to pressure the mates into doing what she is told. Regardless the situation, the lower class people are not allowed to respond with any other answer except yes ma'am, simply because they are lower class and they need a source of income to support their family. The reason behind this phenomenon is because the power dynamic between black and white people. The white people are given more power, resources, and respect in the society. In the film, the white ladies are allowed to say whatever they want without any consequences, but black maids are not allowed to do so because if they offend a white person, they're able to use that as a ground to fire not only the maid, but also their husband and the rest of their family and friends. In other words, the bourgeoisie has the ability to manipulate the life of the working class. A nigger walked into a pawn shop with a ring of such size and color. It took them all of 10 minutes to find out where she worked. This quote shows the prejudice against black people, and the white people know that it is impossible for black people to make such much money since they won't have the opportunities to do so. The black community is never given the equal opportunities to earn that much money. In the 1960s, in the white-dominant world, all job opportunities for the black people are physical labor with minimum wage. Did you know as a girl growing up that one day you would be a maid? Yes, ma'am, I did. Under the oppression of privileged people, it's extremely difficult to change their current conditions as a worker. This shows in the film the maid's mom was a maid, and their grandmother was also a house slave, and they're themselves is maid, of course. And what about their next generation? So the reality is one is dead because of the car accident during the physical labor. One is forced to leave school because the family needs extra income. Another one, even though they are accepted by university, but they still can't afford the tuition. Overall, it's not hard to tell that the journey for them to fight for equal rights won't be easy. But ultimately, even the maids face triple oppression, first by capitalist system, second by the racial discrimination, and third by being a woman. But they still managed to gain a collective consciousness and decide to rebel for equal rights after a injustice imprisoned of a maid and given a injustice sentences. Overall, I enjoy the film. The camera angle and the shot and the sounds are amazing, and it used a funny and entertaining plot to portray how women are attempting to break the status quo, while at the same time is presenting the audience the harsh reality many women faced and suffered from. It really helped me gain an understanding of what it's like to live in 1960s. Yeah, thank you for watching.